at the top of my list, it has to be Trey McBride. 14 targets, 10 catches, 95 yards, and a score. He was on our target list last week. Once we had Zach Ertz move the IR, we talked about how the Cardinals, 31% target share to their tight ends throughout the year, was third in the NFL, fourth in total targets to the position. We did not think every single one of Ertz's targets would just be sent Trey McBride's way. We thought it might be a little bit more evenly distributed, but no, he led the way by a mile, performed well. He showed he deserved those targets, just like in college, where he was 46% of Colorado State's catches and yardage. They get 90 yards, 1,100 yards, 90 catches, 1,100 yards rather. The guy is a hyper athlete, great after the catch. So good to see him so involved here and at a tight end position where people are desperate all over the place. Trey McBride could be a true league winner down the stretch, worth, I'd say, 30 or so % of your fab at minimum. And we'll dive into deeper on Tuesday, 7 p.m. If you want to dive into how much fab to spend, more strategy, ranked top 10 list, I'll be live then. Some other guys that I know will be there, definitely Zach Charbonnet. He's my number 3 pickup of this week on last show. And 5 attempts, 53 yards, 2 carries, 11 yards, 8 points. Actually usable. Maybe not just a handcuff, but a handcuff with benefits. And we also saw Ken Walker, 8 carries, 66 yards, only 3 more than Charbonnet. This was by far the closest split we've seen between these two guys. 1 catch for 4 yards as well for Walker. Definitely good to see Charbonnet so involved, looking really, really explosive as well, putting on the burners at multiple occasions today. So I love Charbonnet. And even if he's not a handcuff, might have some benefits regardless of whether Walker stays healthy or not. And if Walker ever went down, is one of the very few handcuffs in the league that is a true bona fide league winner in terms of a good offense, in terms of a good talent himself. There's not many of those this year. So ultimately, love Charbonnet. Emari Demercado, 36% rostered, back-to-back weeks now with over 80% of the rush share, 20 carries compared to just 4 combined for the other running backs. At 78 yards, was top 5 total in rushing yards for this week, which goes to show you how crappy week it was for rushing. He also had a catch for a yard, the underwhelming receiving production. But again, I bet when we see the final snap count, it's about 75 or higher for Emari Demercado. And this again, 2 weeks in a row. That was the risk. That's why I called him fool's gold last week, was we had seen him be the guy, then get completely taken away, and then be the complete and utter workhorse. We saw it now back-to-back weeks, though, as the complete and utter workhorse. It's not the best of offenses, but hey, he's looking good. He's an okay talent, and he's got one more game against the Rams next week where he could finish as that featured back. Also, Darrell Henderson, just a last call on him, 35% rostered right now, 12 carries, 31 yards, but also getting the damage of the air, 54 rather, on his 3 catches. All 3 of his targets hauled them in. He just doesn't look great, 2.6 yards a carry, but he does get Arizona, who we just saw get bludgeoned for 3 touchdowns by Gus Edwards. I do think Royce Freeman also now under 26% rostered. We saw him vulture a touchdown today, 44 yards on his 9 carries. He also, I think, will be an option coming into week 9. You got to mention Taysom Hill. So you had McBride at the top of this list, no doubt about it, but Taysom Hill, he was the top scoring tight end until Trey McBride took his throne in the 4 p.m. games. He had 63 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, in addition to a 14-yard catch. So, yeah, the route share went down a bit with Juwan Johnson, but his involvement did not. Again, over 9 opportunities. This is 3 straight weeks that he's had 9 plays or more drawn up for him, Taysom Hill, between carries and targets. His 3rd straight week with finishing as the tight end 6 or higher in a row. He's just getting it done right now, Taysom Hill. So definitely somebody to check at 35% rostered. If you're swimming in the weeds of and Jake Ferguson had a good case. That's not a good one to toss out. But there's just, how it is at tight end. Why not go for a guy? We saw him have a 30-point day last year, and he is rolling right now. It seems like he has a higher floor than we have seen in the past years with a similar ceiling and 2 touchdowns. I'll take it all day from my tight end. Rashid Shaheed on the same team, 36% rostered. Dropped in a lot of leagues, but showing and reminding you how damn explosive he is. 3 catches, 153 yards, and a touchdown. 44-yard catch, 58-yard bomb, another 40. He was all over the field making play after play. The volume isn't concerning. It wasn't huge, but this is the type of guy in deep leagues. You got to toss something into the flex in a bye week. Somebody like this that can really tilt your game for you is worth looking at. But if you want more consistency, I actually think Khalil Shakir, 1% rostered. This was a really interesting Thursday night football game. 6 catches, 6 targets, 92 yards for Shakir. But they ended up running 3 wide receiver sets on nearly every single down here. And that was important because Dawson Knox moves to the IR, where they had been one of the heaviest in 12 personnel with Knox and Kincaid. They decided to abandon that and only do a one. Kincaid was the only tight end active this game. So who knows if Quentin Morris, when he comes back, will stick this way. But I imagine after Shakir's success and after the offense as a whole just marched down the field time and time again against Tampa Bay, Josh Allen seemed to really benefit from the added space of having another receiver. He got more engaged as a rusher because the defense was so more spread out in these three receiver sets. And he had that slot receiver, again, Shakir, looking really, really solid. And don't forget, Cole Beasley averaged well over 100 targets and 77 catches in that slot role here. So it can be a very fantasy-friendly role. Last couple names here. Demario Douglas, we talked about how Kendrick Bourne looked like he might have suffered a season ender with that knee injury, immediately clutched it non-contact-wise. We also did lose Devontae Parker. And Douglas, either way, was starting to carve a name out for him. He did lead the way with 7 targets here. Didn't do a whole ton with him. 5 catches, again, season high there. Nice. 25 yards, but there'll be better days. He was a hype machine, Demario Douglas. As a Pats fan, every day in the summer, this kid's popping. They can't get him out of here. He's going to be a star. He's going to be the next slot maven. Well, they might not have a choice at this one. He's the only guy showing any kind of juice in this offense without Kendrick Bourne. Jaden Reed, 17% rostered, 4 catches, 6 targets, 83 yards, led the way for the Packers. It's been a up and down ride for this pass game, but he's actually been among the most consistent yardage producers in this offense. They seem to really like him out of the slot. They love to get him deep there too. 31-yard reception was the highlight play. There, he almost just barely missed a touchdown to have a huge day as well. But Reed's made play after play throughout this year. I wish Love was gaining a little more consistency. He seems to be going backwards, if anything. But I do like this Jaden Reed kid a lot. Definitely intriguing. And the last guy, 2 toss out there, or 2 kind of combined here, is Will Levis, 4% rostered. NFL debut, 4 touchdowns, only 238 yards. But man, you got to have some moxie to be able to do that. And he was throwing some dimes down there to DeAndre Hopkins, who was also making some really nice plays for him, bailing his quarterback out a couple times, but 47, 16, and 61-yard touchdowns. Whew, really, really nice day. Not afraid to air it out. The offense definitely showed more juice. He also had a 33-yard touchdown to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine as well. It was just as good as we've seen the Titans offense look in years. And Will Levis just had that immediate it factor. The schedule is soft moving forward too. Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, 4th most points. Carolina, Indy, Miami, 5th most. Houston, 9th, twice in the playoffs. Seattle, the 12th most points. He does not have a single bottom half matchup the rest of the year. And on that note, Treylon Burks, only 22% rostered. Didn't do anything today, but with Will Levis looking like he's going to open this offense up to new dimensions. And if they do potentially move on from DeAndre Hopkins, could see Treylon Burks, who had some real glimpses as a rookie, showed some real good gusto there. I could definitely see a big day, big kind of second half here for him.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.